Hello, Mario. In this video I'm going to take a look at vehicle tuning. For various safety reasons, most councils require that in new establishments where they're building a house or a building, that vehicles should leave the property in the forward direction. As they enter the property in the forward direction, this means that we have to provide vehicle tuning so that the vehicle can turn around and leave in the forward direction. It's also referred to as vehicle manoeuvring, but apparently there's two spellings of manoeuvring and I couldn't decide which one to use, so I just stuck with vehicle turning. So let's crack on with that and let's have a bit of a look here at what we've got. Oh, this is my original drawing, the 2D CAD. I've since moved the house a little bit, so we're going to have to adjust it. But I've got two cars here in the garage and one here just outside parking. Councils also require that you provide on-site parking for a number of vehicles, and this can be dependent on a number of things, but generally it's one per bedroom. So I've got a 3-bedroom house here, all labelled up. So I'm going to go with showing you how to put the manoeuvring in for put 3 cars in place and put the manoeuvring in. You only need to have manoeuvring for one vehicle so that one vehicle can can leave the site in a forward direction. It's not essential that all of the vehicles be able to leave from the forward direction, depending on how things go, but it should be possible, of course, one way or another. So I'm going to show a little bit here. I've also noted in my driveway that I've done previously that on my previous plan I put my driveway coming further around the house, such as that. So I think I'm going to update my driveway, but that may be in another video. So we'll see how we go. Now, where does all this manoeuvring details come from? And I'll just give you a little bit of a heads up on that. What I've done is councils usually provide a vehicle turning or vehicle tracking, as it is also known, a vehicle tracking diagram, and this is the one here for what is called the 90th percentile car. I've actually scaled this up so that it fits onto the sheet there and actually matches the dimensions there. I've sort of shown this possibly here as a block because there was a few little scale discrepancies in it, so I've had to scale it slightly in the Y direction by around about 6 or 7% because it didn't actually fit with the dimensions that were shown once I scaled it all up. So I've been through a little bit of a process to scale it. This is a line here, and then I've converted it to a block, and I believe that I've got it scaled. And then what I did was I overwrote, just drew the lines in here and matched them with curves and straights, and then I've put a copy over here just to give the vehicle manoeuvring here at a 1-to-1 scale. The other thing I also did, and I've just imported that little thing there as a JPEG and then converted it to a block, as I said. So I can just delete it. I think I've got it in my trash layer. And I've also copied the car there, the dimensions of the 90th percentile car to the distances shown on there. And then in each instance I have made each of those into a block, which I think I've got them on this here block. Let's have a look. Insert, and there's the car, and there's the vehicle manoeuvring, and I've got those as blocks. So once I've got them as established as blocks in this particular drawing, I can then, using the design centre, which I think is up in here somewhere. Is it in the insert? I think it might be in the insert, the design centre. Using the design centre, I can go there and I can transfer blocks from one drawing to the other. So I've kept this drawing here, but just transferred the blocks into the drawing that we're actually drawing, which is the drawing we're actually drawing. But it sounds a bit cumbersome there. But and here it is here. So and if we just bring this up into full thing there, and again go to insert, and there's the car turning and the vehicle manoeuvring. So it's a very key thing in AutoCAD is that you really only need to draw things once to get them, and then you use them over and over again. There's no need to draw things. So the first thing I'm going to do, I think, is put the car in the garage. So I'm just going to go insert, and I'll put the cars there, and I'm going to put it in there. Now obviously that's a block, and currently I've put it in there and it's in the driveway block. I'm going to create a new, go to the home and create a new layer, and I'm going to have that layer as well, I can have it pretty similar as my driveway. I'm going to have it frozen in new viewport, so put that in there, and there it is, layer 3, and I'm going to call it the vehicle layer. I see I've already got vehicle turning in there, so I'm just going to call this one vehicle. It looks like it's just called itself layer 3 anyway, so for some reason I'm not quite getting that right, so I'm going to rename that one, and I'll just call that vehicles, and that's the one that I'll put the cars in. In doing that, I see that I've also got one vehicle turning, so I'm going to make that the current layer. I'm going to close that down there, and my understanding is, yes, I'm going to turn it on in this viewport here. There we go. Oh, so I must have to turn it on there. Turn it on, and that means it should all be good. And then I'm going to convert my little car here into that layer. It's probably a little bit cumbersome, there's probably better ways of doing it, but that's the way I do it, that's the way I understand it. Now I notice my car's a wee bit small, and I believe that I need to beef it up 10 times due to various scaling issues and things like that. And there it is there. Now I notice that I'm just going to escape out of there. I've noticed that my boundary here is, well, it's not anything at this stage. I'm just going to go to one click so that it can, and I'll just click out here again, escape, and just click on my boundary again, and this time it tells me that it's 316 degrees 48. So I'm looking here at my car, and it's at 90 degrees. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go with 136 degrees 48. That'll be close enough, and see what that does. It didn't do anything. 136 degrees 48 minutes, because I didn't put the minute sign in. Okay, that's we need to maybe make it 46, because it's just take 90 off, and there it is. There's my car, and it's going in the garage there. I'm going to put it in the garage just over here, just in the garage where you might think, so it's inside the door, round about the middle. I think there would probably be fine. Put my car there. Now I also I've got another car that I want to get in the garage, and I want them to look quite symmetrical. So I'm just going to select this car here, and I'm just going to use the mirror function, MI for mirror, and now I'm going to pick on that mirror line there, and there, and there, and then it's asking me, do I want to erase the source object? The default setting at this point is no, so just push enter, and there you are. I've got my two cars in the garage. I might just move them both back together like so. Oops, can only click one thing at once with that. Now I can click two, move, and I'm just going to, I'll just click anywhere here. Oops, no I'm not. Control Z. I'm just going to escape out of there. Control Z. I'm just going to do that again. I thought I could be quite clever, but I need to move them along this line here to be fair. So I'm just going to click there and just move them a little bit along there so they don't overwrite the roller door thing there. We just have to learn to park them more forward so that we don't obliterate the writing on the floor of the garage. Dad joke. Alright, now, so that's got the cars in there, and we're at about 11 minutes there. So that's probably just enough for this video, and so we'll call it quits there. I'm going to do some more work on that driveway as well, which I realised that I probably need to lay a bit more concrete around, especially outside my doors here. So yeah, call it quits there. Cheers, see you.